While Donald Trump was occupied with political battles, challenging members of his own party, clashing with allies, and stirring controversy, Mark Carney was quietly working on something that could reshape the global economy. Now, the world is beginning to see what that effort was all about. According to reports from Politico, the European Union's 27 member states and the 12-nation Indo-Pacific trade bloc, known as the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, have started negotiations to potentially form one of the largest economic alliances in modern history. If realized, this partnership would unite nearly 40 countries, encompass around 1.5 billion people, and create a market so vast it would surpass the United States in scale, with Canada playing a leading role. To understand the significance, it helps to look at the two blocs involved. The European Union is already the world's largest single market. The CPTPP, meanwhile, includes major Indo-Pacific economies such as Canada, Japan, Australia, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, Mexico, Chile, Peru, New Zealand, Brunei, and the United Kingdom. Until now, these two systems operated separately, each with its own trade rules and supply networks, essentially parallel systems that never intersected. Carney's vision is to connect them. At last month's World Economic Forum in Davos, Carney openly stated that Canada is supporting efforts to link the EU and the Trans-Pacific Partnership into a unified trading framework. That speech, it turns out, was more than just diplomatic language. It hinted at negotiations already underway behind the scenes. Sources familiar with the talks confirmed discussions have begun, with Canada not merely participating but actively leading. Carney even dispatched his representative to Singapore to assess regional support, holding meetings with Indo-Pacific leaders. Officials described the talks as highly productive, and Japan has already expressed strong interest, noting that deeper integration could strengthen supply chain resilience. European trade officials have also shown enthusiasm, viewing the proposal as an opportunity to expand commerce and potentially attract additional countries. These developments indicate the initiative is not theoretical. It is a structured negotiation involving envoys, meetings, and working frameworks. At the core of the proposal is a technical but powerful concept called rules of origin, which determines where a product is considered to be made. Currently, the EU and CPTPP use different systems, meaning goods assembled across multiple countries face complex layers of regulation. Harmonizing those rules would allow components from any member state to count toward preferential trade treatment across the entire alliance. In practical terms, that could allow supply chains to operate seamlessly across dozens of nations, reducing dependence on any single country and strengthening economic stability. The timing is significant. Recent U.S. tariff policies, particularly sweeping duties imposed on imports from many trading partners, shook confidence among allies and businesses that rely on predictable trade conditions. Companies suddenly faced unexpected costs, and countries that believed they had stable agreements saw them disrupted. The result has been growing interest worldwide in diversifying trade partnerships to reduce vulnerability. Carney has repeatedly argued that the global economy is entering a period of fracture rather than transition, warning that economic tools such as tariffs and supply chains are increasingly used as instruments of power. His proposed response is cooperation among middle powers, nations influential enough to matter globally but not dominant alone, such as Canada, Japan, Germany, Australia, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. Many of these countries countries have traditionally aligned closely with the United States, yet recent tensions have encouraged them to explore more independent economic arrangements. If the proposed alliance materializes, it could form a trading system covering roughly 1.5 billion people and an estimated $30 trillion in combined GDP. Such a bloc would offer companies an alternative network spanning Europe, the Asia-Pacific, and the Americas, potentially reducing reliance on U.S. markets. Political developments in Washington add another layer of uncertainty. Legal challenges to tariff policies are ongoing, congressional votes have shown divisions, and upcoming reviews of existing trade agreements could reshape North American trade relations. If current agreements were altered or terminated, countries such as Canada and Mexico, already CPTPP members, would have ready access to other major markets through the emerging framework. Carney's approach has emphasized patience, targeted responses, and coalition building rather than escalation. Supporters argue that this strategy has strengthened Canada's global standing and positioned it as a central connector between major economic regions. In essence, what began as a response to trade tensions could evolve into one of the most significant economic realignments in decades. Rather than isolating rivals, the proposed system aims to link dozens of countries into a cooperative network designed for stability, diversification, and long-term resilience. If it succeeds, it may mark a turning point in how global trade alliances are formed and who leads them.